Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for stopping by and checking out my latest video. And today I'm here with some thrifted treasures for the craft room. And they're items that I found thrifting at the thrift stores, and then also that my mom and her neighbor Joanne found also thrifting for me when they went on a little day trip and checked out some different thrift stores. And the first couple items that I'm going to share with you are the ones that my mom and her neighbor Joanne found. This is a train for a bridal dress, the first two things that I have to share with you guys. And it's gorgeous. At the end of the video, I will take a picture of it so you guys can see what it looks like laying out on the rug in my craft room here. It's just too hard to show you on camera without me taking down my camera off of its mount. But you can see that this first one was make a pillow sham or a tree skirt, train as is, and the price up at the top was $2. And the only thing that's wrong with it is that obviously somebody was going to use it for something, and I don't know where the little spot is, but you can kind of see the back side here where there's some lace or appliques that were sewed in. And there is one missing, and so that's why they said as is. So there's one like applique that whoever owned it previously had it, and they maybe had some ideas and then they decided not to do it, some sort of crafting idea, and they didn't use any more of it. So it's missing one little spot, but it's gorgeous. And it's huge. I mean, there's a lot of material. It's going to take me forever to take all the appliques off, but that's what I'm going to do, and then I'll see kind of what the material looks like after I'm done with that. And if I can come up with some ideas for the leftover material, I will try and come up with something, whether or not it's flowers or, you know, maybe making some cute little hearts or something. And then here is the second train that my mom and Joanne found at the same store. And this one doesn't have like the sheer appliques on it. They were actually sewed onto the material. And this one has a lot nicer satin material on it. This one's obviously true satin. I think the other one was probably a blend, but this one feels like satin. But look at the appliques on this one. Isn't not stunning? And they paid $3 for this one for me. So great deal. I know when my mom picked them up, she texted me pictures right away. She's like, "You're not gonna believe what I found, and I just bought them for you," because they were such a good deal. Because sometimes she'll call me to see whether or not things, if she thinks, you know, I can use them or not, but she didn't hesitate on these two. So now the next item I found at my local thrift store, and this was brand new, but the original tag came off of it, but it did come from Victoria's Secret. And I don't know what made me look for it at the thrift store. The original price was $3, but it ended up only being $1.50 because it was 50% off. I usually don't look at the section where they have pajamas and brassieres and stuff like that at the thrift store. I usually don't look at that section at all or even walk by it, but for some reason I walked by it, and this just happened to catch my eye on the corner of it. I could see, you know, when it was hanging, I could see this part, and so I thought, oh, I gotta look at that and just see what it is. And so obviously it's just like a little corset top or something that came from Victoria's Secret. And when I pulled it off the rack, of course, I thought, oh, all the wonderful you know, little applique lace here that I could use for something. And this was, of course, was before my mom had found those wedding trains for me. And so I thought, well, I was kind of needing some more appliques. And then I thought this part had potential too. I thought this would be really cute if you just cut it right here and then put it onto like a book cover. Like even maybe or a journal cover, maybe even possibly a tall skinny one. And then you could even use it as a pocket, you know. So I saw potential in this one for $1.50, so I did pick that up. And the next items I'm sharing with you I thought were an awesome deal. I bought quite a few of them. These are just a few. I have gifted a couple away already to a couple crafty friends that said that they could use them. And I kept some also for myself. They are the piano rolls, or pianola rolls, I think is the technical term for them. And when I went to the thrift store, they had them marked the first time. They had them marked for $1. And so I went through them and I picked out like songs, like this one was My Funny Valentine. This one was Fly Me to the Moon. And this one was Jingle Bells. So I picked out songs that I recognized. There were songs that I remember my grandma singing or liking. So I picked out songs based on that. And I think I picked out like maybe 10 or 15 of these piano rolls. And they were all $1 each. And because I thought that was a great deal. A couple of times that I've seen them at the antique mall, they've been quite a bit more. And I've never walked away with them. These ones aren't those ones that have the beginning parts where they're significantly decorated. But they are a little bit vintage, and they do, the ones that have songs on them, they do have the words on them. So I thought that was cute, cool. And the interesting part is that when I actually went up to pay for them, the day that I went to pay for them at the thrift store when I found them, and they had just recently been at the thrift store because I had just been there like 2 days before dropping off some things, and I didn't buy anything that day. So they weren't there on that day, but then 2 days later they were there, and they were marked $1 each, and they had a huge box full of them. And when I went to go pay for them, they told me that it was red tags on sale, and to me these look like they're orange tags, but the lady told me that those were the ones that were on sale. So anything that was this colored tag was 50% off. So I got them for 50 cents each. I could not believe it. So then of course I grabbed a couple more, and then I was back at that same thrift store about 2 weeks later, and they have a section where they put like vintage items. And so somebody had moved them, because I found these like in the office supply section, and somebody had moved them over to the vintage section, and they upped the price to $3 a roll. So I got a good deal the day that I was there, so I was excited about them at any rate. And I can't wait to maybe make a journal and some ephemera with them. So lately I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, so if you guys have any good ones where you've created anything interesting with the piano roll paper, make sure you tell me about it in your comments so that I can go check out your video. So this next little pile, which isn't a lot, are doilies. And these actually came from like a consignment store that I went to go check on one day with my mom and my sister. And they were all in baggies. And a couple of them I've gifted out already. But they were kind of expensive, I thought, and so I was just going to leave them. But then the lady told me that everything in the linen room was 50% off. So at that price, I was like, okay, I can pay for that price. And I don't remember, I think the baggie that I had this tatted doilies in only ended up being, I think they were $3 for all the ones that I ended up getting. But I love them. I was excited about those ones, the tatting. And then this one was a little bit, these ones were connected. And I gave away a couple of the ones that were in the baggie already to a couple friends. And then there was kind of a basic one. And again, I don't really remember, but I'm sure that they were closer to the prices that I was used to, you know, so probably it ended up being like $2 for the bag. But here's, you know, kind of those machine-made doilies, but these are the perfect sizes for ornaments. So that was in one of the bags. And then this was the other one. This one was kind of a mishmash of different styles in this one. You know, originally someone just tried to sell just a single one for $3, which I don't think is worth it when they're the machine ones. You know, maybe originally brand new at that price, but these ones are all the machine ones. A lot of them still even have the original tags on them. But I ended up, probably getting the whole bag for $2 or $3 is what I'm thinking, but it's been a little while. Again, I like to hold on to things before I do thrift store videos with you guys. And then this was the other one that I found in that room. And I think I ended up paying $2 for this one. But this one was vintage, and I really liked the color of it. So I did pick up that one, too, at that consignment store. It's a store that I usually don't go to very often because their prices are really bad there. But my sister wanted to go check it out. She hadn't been in there before. And then next at my local thrift store, I found this trim for 30 cents. I don't think this was on sale the day that I was there, but I really liked this one. So I picked it up for 30 cents. And I haven't taken it apart, but I'm sure that there's got to be at least a yard in there. So a yard for 30 cents is pretty good. Also at our thrift store, they had this one. They had two pieces. One's 51 by 89 inches. The other one's 51 by 61. And it was $5. I think this was one when I was there that they had the craft stuff on sale the day that I picked this one up. But it was some nice basic lace. And then also that same day I picked up this one for half off, this material. So this one would have been 50 cents. And again, I just thought it was kind of shabby looking. I thought it was really pretty, so I picked that up. On another trip to that same thrift store, my local one, I got this one half off when they had their linen room half off. And so I got this one for $2, but it's a curtain, like a curtain valance. And I got a couple, like a matching set, but I just put one of them to show you guys. But I picked it up just because I did like the lace on it. And then the sheer part always is good for making flowers. And this one was 55 inches long. And again, that was a pair that I ended up getting for $2. And then this also was in the curtain section, and I don't know where the tag went onto this one, but I can't imagine that I paid more than a couple bucks for it. It was that same day that I picked up those last curtain valances. But this one, I just really liked the material on it, so I picked it up because I thought it had some nice texture. So I'm thinking like the little envelope pouches or something with this material. So I picked that up. And again, some of this stuff I had picked up before my mom bought me those wedding trains, where I knew now that I'm going to have more, you know, white material than what I know what to do with for a little while. And now I have one last pile to share with you. I kind of had it sitting nice next to me, and then it all like fell over. So we'll just work with it. At another thrift store, I picked these little wood pieces up for $1. I do like to paint the little hearts, and then you can decoupage on them or add laces and trims. And then I put like little paper clothespins behind them, and then I can use them to attach to people's like Happy Mail. So for $1, I thought it was worth picking them up for all these hearts. And then there's like a bell and like a goose. I don't think I'll use the goose at all, so that one will probably get thrifted back to the thrift store. But then they also had 2 little knobs in there that I might be able to use. I have a couple of like organization things that are missing knobs, and so I'm hoping that maybe these are the same size. I'm not sure. But I will hold on to those, because those are ones I might, if I can thrift a few more like that, I can either fix that organization container that I have that with drawers on it, or if I can find 2 more, I'll be able to use them as feet on a project, like a little box or something. So for $1, again, I thought that was a good deal, and I'll thrift back the little goose, because I don't think I'll ever use that little goose wood piece. And then at that same thrift store for $1, I picked this up because I saw one lace in here that I was interested in, and I haven't opened it up yet. So I'll pull it out to show you guys. So in this one, for $1, they had little pink feathers. They had some crochet trim, which I'll definitely use that type of trim. And again, that looks like there's about a yard in there. But I thought this one was really pretty. It's gold on it. It's kind of a gold champagne color. I don't think there's quite a yard of this one, but there's at least 12 inches. And for $1, to me, that was worth it. I just thought it was really pretty trim along with the crocheted trim that I just showed you guys. And then there was some little round beads. And again, I'll save these because I'll be able to use them for something. You can always paint them white and add them to projects. There was some little pink cord in there, and I'll also save that because you never know when you can use that on a project. And then this was the last item in there. And I'm not quite sure what it originally was, because it doesn't really lay flat. It doesn't look like it. But I might be able to like layer it behind something on a project, so this won't go to waste either. So the only thing I'm not really 100% sure about is the bright pink feathers in there. It's not really my color. I'll hold on to the bright pink feathers for a while and see if I can find a use for them. Otherwise, they might go bye-bye back to the thrift store. And then also at another, I think that same thrift store where that stuff was $1, I found these Battenberg doilies, and they were 30 cents for the package, and there was 2 of them in there, but I already sniped one out of there to gift to somebody. So there was 2 in there, and I gave one to somebody that I know that really likes Battenberg stuff, so I gave her one of those. But for 30 cents, I thought that was a pretty good deal for 2 little doilies. These are the perfect size for making ornaments. And then also at that thrift store, I couldn't believe I found like that ribbon trim that has beads on it. And I'll open one package up so you guys can see if it'll open here without the scissors. But just so you can see a little closer. So these ones were 50 cents each. And I thought that was a great deal. I used to use a lot of these, like when I made ornaments and hanging from journals and stuff, or cards even. And I just couldn't resist the 50-cent price. So there was 4 blues. Then they also had a pink one. It's kind of bright pink, but I'm going to put this aside for my Bohemian journal. Again, I have a ton of supplies ready for that. I just have to sit down and start working on that journal. Again, I want to make like a paper Bohemian style one, and then I also want to make a fabric one. And then these also were 50 cents each. So it was $1 for the whole bag for 2 things, but so they were 50 cents each. But again, I was thinking for my Bohemian journal for both of these. I did find a couple of rubber stamps. This one was 50 cents. This is kind of probably a cheaper quality rubber stamp, but the rubber is really good, and also the foam on there. It's just this top piece. I have no clue what brand this is. It has a C right there. And again, it was 50 cents, but I liked that this one had the lines on it. and I thought this would be perfect for making journal cards or stamping on the backs of journal cards or tags in my junk journals, just to have some lines to write on. I have a few stamps, you know, similar with lines, but not one quite like this one. So I picked it up for 50 cents. Then I also picked up this one for $1. It's from the company called Great Impressions. It originally was at $8.25. I have another one from Great Impressions, but it doesn't have the scallop top or the polka dots on it, and I've used it quite a bit in different journals. Sometimes I'll just stamp it and then cut it out, and then I will slice, like, with the X-Acto knife, a little spot right up here, and then I can, like, stick a smaller tag in it. So that's what I've used them for, or just as layering pieces in clusters. Then at our thrift store, my local one, I found this book. It's called The Simple Art of Ribbon Design, and I paid, I think they charged me 75 cents because they said it wasn't a full hardback book, so the paperbacks are 75 cents. But I thought it was interesting because they do have a couple of flowers, how to make a couple of flower, you know, ribbon flowers in here. So I thought I would try them. So for the price, I thought it was worth just for me to be able to try a couple of the flowers to see if they actually work or not. And then again that day, one of the days when I was at the thrift store, that, you know, when they had the linens on sale, they also had like the curtains and stuff on sale. I also picked up this one, and so they had a $5 price tag on it, and I got it for $2.50. But you can kind of see the pretty little lace right here, and then it has a dangle on the end of it. So I couldn't resist that for $2.50. And then of course the material is kind of a nice vintage looking color. Again, I thought that these would maybe make good flowers, so I'll have to try that out. I also found a couple of rubber stamps, another set of rubber stamps that I liked. This one was 50 cents. It's a Stampin' Up! One, and I thought that was really cute with the sewing machine, the dress form. I love this little button card thing and the little thread, and then the tape measure. So for 50 cents, I couldn't pass that one up. And then for $1, they had a Sizzix die cut, and this one was leaves on the back of this one, and I don't have this one, so I thought that was kind of nice. What's nice is, of course, you can cut it out, and you can cut out, you know, several at a time. I do have a couple of leaf die cuts, but not any that looked like this one, so I picked this one up. And then just two more things to share with you. For 50 cents, in the office supply section of my craft store, they had these index cards, and they've been yellowed, and they look a little old, like they've maybe sat in the sun or something for too long. They smell fine, because I did smell the package before I bought it, but for 50 cents, you know, to be able to make journal cards and layering pieces. I mean, these ones look like they've already taken a light tea bath on them, so I can't imagine that if I actually put some more tea on them, they're going to get even darker. I know it doesn't show that on camera very well, but these ones have like a nice little vintage patina already to them. Then the last item I bought is another puzzle box. I don't know if you guys saw, in December I made my friend Amy Love a altered puzzle box, and it was exactly like this puzzle box, and I decorated it up really cute. So I will link that below in the description box if you guys want to check that out. But I had so much fun making it that when I saw this one, I couldn't resist. So it was $3, and I found this one in the kids like puzzle section, and you can see that there are 4 little spots right here. And then you can, you know, have little compartments inside of the box. And so what I will do is I usually, when I find these types of puzzle boxes, I put because it's little kids puzzles, so there's like only usually 24 pieces in a section. I do put the puzzle together. If all the pieces are there, I thrift it back to the thrift store, and I put them in separate baggies, just so you know, they can give them to somebody else. If, you know, somebody else can use them. If there aren't all there in the past, I have altered puzzle pieces. It's not really anything I like doing or enjoy, you know, once in a great while, but it's been a long time that I usually don't keep them if not all the pieces are there. So, but usually they're all there. So, so yeah. So that was everything in my thrift store, my thrifted treasure haul today. I'd love to hear what things you would have thrifted, what things maybe you would have left on the shelf. And of course, if you guys have made any piano roll journals or ephemera using the paper in those piano rolls, leave me a comment also below so I can go check out your video on YouTube. So again, thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a wonderful day.